Well, let's have a look at week 6 quick picks for the NFL. Now, last week we finished the week on a 9-5, so a pretty decent week. My two hot takes also came in as well. One of them being the Broncos beating the Philadelphia Eagles, and the next one, the Jags beating the Chiefs. So all in all, a solid week on the predictions. I also went to the game at London this week, but more on that later on. Now, we started off the week predicting the Thursday night football game, and we started off on an absolute shocker. I predicted that the Philadelphia Eagles would beat the Giants, and I don't think anyone was expecting that, for the Giants to beat the Philadelphia Eagles 34-17. Giants getting their second win of the season, and the Eagles getting their second loss in a row. It gets us off to a bad start 0-1, but we can still turn it around. Now, first game is the second game in London. It's the 3-2 Broncos taking on the 0-5 Jets. Obviously, the Broncos coming off a really good win last week against Philadelphia Eagles, and the Jets have had an absolutely terrible start. At the moment, this football team is really, really bad, and I can't see them winning the game at all. Give me the Broncos. Then the 3-2 Seahawks are going to take on the 4-1 Jags. Seahawks losing out in that really high scoring close game last week to the Bucks, and the Jags have won their last two games, one of them being against the Chiefs last week, and the week before beating the San Francisco 49ers. If I was to look at it, these games are really close. However, I think with Seattle going on the road down to Florida, it's going to be a bit warmer. That might just give Jacksonville that little edge. Give me the Jags in this one. Now, the Chargers are going to the Dolphins. The Chargers, after a good start, have lost the last two, and the Dolphins are not the best football team at the moment. Their only win coming against the really poor Jets. However, this one is being played in Florida, so the Chargers obviously have to travel cross country, but I still don't think that will help. Give me the Chargers. Now, the 3-2 Rams, who lost to the 49ers last week, are going to Baltimore to play the Ravens. The Ravens have obviously had a terrible start after that injury to Lamar Jackson, and they're on a 3-game losing streak. Without Lamar, I cannot see him winning this game. I'll take the Rams. Then you've got the Cardinals going to Indianapolis to play the Colts. The Cardinals, who've lost their last 3 games and are struggling a bit as a football team. The Colts beating the Raiders last week 40-6 and holding the Raiders off. They didn't even score a touchdown, only 2 field goals. Daniel Jones playing really good football at the moment. I'll take the Colts. The Cowboys going to Carolina. Carolina getting that win in the last quarter last week. The Cowboys playing some decent football. This game could be quite good, and I reckon it's going to be high scoring, but I'll take the Cowboys. Then we've got the 3-2 Patriots going to the 1-4 Saints. Saints, who are bottom of the NFC South and also bottom of the NFC with the worst record in that conference. Patriots coming off a really good win against their rivals last week, the Buffalo Bills, beating them 23-20. I reckon they'll carry that into this week, even if they are going away to New Orleans. Give me the Patriots. And then we've got the Browns going to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. The Browns, obviously, last week losing out to Minnesota in the last couple of minutes, and the Steelers had a bye last week, but the week before they travelled over to Ireland and got their first win abroad, and it was the first game ever played in Ireland. They've obviously had quite a bit of time to rest and recuperate after that game. The Browns will have done a lot of travelling back. I reckon they'll still be tired, and then they've got to go on the road to play in Pittsburgh. I think they'll really struggle in this game. I'm taking Pittsburgh. Another not amazing matchup. We've got the 1-4 Titans against the 1-4 Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders obviously getting annihilated last week by the Indianapolis Colts. The Titans are not the best football team. 2 weeks ago, they didn't score a single point against the Texans. The Raiders won in their first week, but then they've gone on a 4-game losing streak. This one's quite a hard one to pick, but with it being played in Las Vegas, I'm going to take the Raiders. The 49ers are travelling over to Tampa Bay to play the Buccaneers. Matt Jones has been absolutely great, and he's currently got a 3-0 start as a starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. George Kittle, Ricky Pearsall still out. However, Juwan Jennings is back, and CMC is looking good. I reckon this one is going to be a really tight game, but I think the 49ers edge it. Then we've got the Cincinnati Bengals going to Green Bay to play the Packers. This one's an easy one for me. No Burrow, no Partey, away at Lambeau. Give me the Packers. Then the 4-1 Lions are taking on the 2-3 Chiefs. Chiefs who've not had the best starts this season, and they lost to the Jags last week, 31-28. The Lions are currently on a 4-game winning streak. This one's being played at Arrowhead, but I still think the Lions are going to be too strong. Give me Jared Goff and the Lions in this one. Now, the Bills, after that loss last week to the Patriots, are taking on the Atlanta Falcons this week. The Falcons, who had a bye last week, and then the week before, coming off a win against the Washington Commanders, 34-27. Even though they are rested and this game is being played down in Atlanta, I still don't think they've got enough to beat the Bills. I'll take Josh Allen, the Bills on this one. And the final game of the week, the Chicago Bears coming off a bye after beating the Raiders, going to Washington and playing the Commanders. The Commanders obviously getting a win against the Chargers last week. I think this game's going to be really close, but I think with the Bears having that extra rest, even if this game is on the road, I'm going to take Chicago in this one. And that's it for this week's slate. If you've got any of your own picks, put them down in the comment section below. Hopefully we'll have a better week this week. See you in the next one.